Let's see. All right, now we're starting. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello.
Hola.
Glad to hola, and there's George. I'll bring George on in just a minute. I just want to go over some housekeeping things real quick to point out some things that um, if you want to make comments, we're on Facebook doing a live stream from uh, We Deliver Houston um, Facebook page. So if you go to We Deliver Houston on Facebook, well, let me find the actually little, yeah, it says we're broadcasting from here. You can go there and join in and watch this every time. If you go to StreamYard on Facebook, uh, you can, when you leave a comment, it will actually show up, and then I could show it to people like this one right here. Okay, that's a comment that we put up. If you write a comment on Facebook, and if you've joined it, the stream, then your picture shows up here. Otherwise, it shows up as a blank person here. So here's George,
Hi.
and um, I just wanted to thank you. This is George Thomas from I Want Joy, and I've been bragging about your voice.
Oh, yes.
Your voiceover voice that I've used before
I
on
can
different
sound
projects.
like I'm on the radio.
Yeah. So, how's things going with you, George? What's going on
Oh,
down there?
better and better, better and better. Those of you who are fans of Jose Silva know better, better and better. But
Right.
we're in a state of flux. We are absolutely in a state of flux, and
Right.
it's a roller coaster ride. And there are parts where you have to hang on, and then parts where you get to relax. But better and better, Doc. We've just finished a new YouTube video, a Spanish language translation of a guided meditation. So happy to get that done. We've got a Zoom thing coming up on Sunday at the Healing Cooperative of Houston. I'm trapped at home, not trapped, but we're self quarantining, and I'm not even sick. But anyway, getting a lot done. Just happy as a clam, reasonably in good health, happy, got a nice place to live. I mean, it's God has blessed me and you too, of course.
So, tell me, how, how's people in your life and people that you know that you're close to, how they handling all this is going on right now? What's going on with
Fair,
the family and all?
fairly well. My mom is trapped in lockdown. She lives in an independent living place here in Galveston, and they shut the place down. I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, and so she's trapped. But they're taking care of her. They give her, get food and so forth, and clean up the place. But she's in a facility now. Remain that confidential. But anyway, I mean, you can figure it out pretty quick. But she's doing good. She's in good spirits. We had a FaceTime thing with myself, my sister, and my daughter and my son all at once one day last week, and that kind of lifted her spirits. So she's doing well. My sister's doing good. She has cats. She's also self-sequestered. And friends, I've got friends here, there, and everywhere, and everybody seems to be hanging in and understanding it's a challenge. There's opportunities. One of the things that some of my teachers have posited over the years was that the hardest thing for a human to do is to be able to sit in a room by themselves without motion, without distractions, no TV, no pets, no nothing for 5 minutes. Gosh, that doesn't seem hard. Well, unless you've never done it, try it. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Well,
your mind's what about this? What I did? I'm dishes, laundry, children, parents.
I agree with you. That's one of the reasons that we teach heart space and different things like that. Um, and I've been teaching, and I did one of these the other day. It was just me talking and going through using some EFT or my style, the combination of EFT and neurolinguistics that they call the PEAT, the basic PEAT stuff, and I've been helping some people just learn how to breathe, to do deep breathing, sit there and just because the mind is doing all that, going everywhere, here, there, and all that sort of stuff. Teaching the people how to breathe and just focus on their breath and count it, and so they can get their mind to just calm down. The process of going into heart space is probably one of the quickest, easiest, but it's so simple that people forget to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I teach them some breathing exercises, or the circuit breaking process, which is the EFT stuff. Okay. So that they can actually, because it's what I call social distancing, but it's done the right way. Instead of trying to social distance from people out there, we want to learn to social distance from the person here, from this right here. If you can social distance from your thinking, okay, then you wind up getting, what you want, when you want, the way you want it. And you're able to handle stuff. You're able to handle what I call the fear porn so much better, so much easier nowadays.
That's a good term for it.
And since and since I've got all kind of friends on Facebook, you got all sides, all parts of the spectrum, okay, from business to personal. Every one of them, all of us need help learning to change our focus from where they're trying to direct our focus. So let me ask you this. I know you guys are doing some cool things right now for folks who are at home and struggling right now. Tell me about that.
It's all I can do is all we can do. Randy Parker told me all you can do is all you can do. But since we are at our core compassion and love, that's who you are, that's who I am, that's who the people watching this are, that's who and what you are at your core. We want to help. We want to help our brethren. We want to help other energies, other entities. And so you do what you can. And I am not currently permitted to go out among folks and lay hands on them, etc. So what we are doing is making ourselves available. There's an article on my website about remote healing, and it's absolutely real. Edgar Cayce taught us back in the 1960s or 70s or 50s or whenever. That's when I learned about it. That time and space are not constraints to God. Well, are you God, George? I didn't say I was God. I said time and constraints are not a constraint to God. And so I don't claim to be God. I don't claim to heal people. What I do is allow access and it to flow. And once one learns to get oneself out of the way, then you can help the client get out of the way. I tell people, what do you do, George? Well, I get out of the way, help the client get out of the way, and then let divinity have its way with us.
That's cool.
So remotely, I'm able to have sessions with folks. I've got one later today scheduled. This is a wonderful opportunity. We can talk about these things, and anybody who watches this can tune in to the vibrational resonance of healing and forgiveness and love, because that's available 24/7, 366. 366? Yeah, it's a leap year. Anyway, the point being, it's awesome what we can do, because, and I'll tell you a quick story about remote stuff, because I was on a thing last week. We're going to do this next Sunday, this coming Sunday at 4 with the Healing Cooperative of Houston. And the idea of reaching out through time and space and impacting somebody in, say, for example, the UK, which I did 3 years ago. I had a client, and I was watching her about like this on Skype, and her head just keeps going back, and her head bends back further than humans' heads are supposed to go back. And it occurred to me that was not necessarily a useful thing for her to do. So I reached out energetically and put my hand behind her head and began to lift. And in the video, she comes up like this. And you can't tell me remote healing doesn't work, because I've seen it with my own eyes.
Well, I don't have to be convinced, because as you know, that's
you know stuff.
Yeah, I know stuff. Yeah, I know how to get out of the way and let it happen. And
amen.
So that's what I do besides the digital marketing and helping people get the exposure and visibility that they need. But
which he's good at, by the way.
Well, what I wanted, the reason I'm doing this is because I want more and more people to know what's going on with people out there so that they can get their focus out of the fear and into the freedom, because that's the spectrum that people are dealing with. On one end, they got fear. On the other side, they got freedom. You know, whether it's a conservative or a liberal or whoever it is, whoever they're angry with, I always like to remind them, oh, is that your new master? Because slavery happens when I get emotional, okay, a negative emotion about somebody else, and then they're controlling me. I'm their slave, okay? So if we can get them to get them off of focusing on themselves and what somebody else is not doing or should be doing and giving their opinion, and simply go into basically doing focus, changing their focus where they need to go. And the first place to do it is to teach them to get out of here, get down into here, and away they go. So you were telling us what you're up to right now in the quarantine and stuff. So you were talking about that. Do you have any special offers that you're making for people or anything of that nature?
Yeah, the other day I said, look, here's a 90% discount. I do $120 per session. It's usually an hour. And I said, okay, good, 90% discount.
You're cheap.
A couple of people. Well, yeah. Well, that's one way to look at it. Affordable is another way. Okay. Anyway, the point being,
you're way affordable. I'm 2-3 times that. So.
Yeah. Well, the point of it is $120 is an amount. Now I could charge more. And the point of it is, if the person in receipt of the service understands its value, then they're going to tend to have more lasting results. I can walk up to a stranger on the street and say, can I put my hand on your shoulder just a moment? And they will instantly have some relief. Or if they ask a little bit and so it's free, okay, I'm just giving this away. Then they're going to, it's like a band-aid. Okay, yeah, I feel a little bit better. And they'll go on with their life and not notice the stuff. If you presume that this is worth $500-600, okay, and then we work a little bit, then, hey, I invested that much of my time, effort, and money, because that's what we do. We trade time and effort for money, and I invested that in myself. Then I'm going to tend to notice, and I'm going to tell them, notice what we notice. We've both been trained. Notice what you notice. Then they can notice the things that, boy, this is making a shift. And you've seen people, I've seen people, and hi to all our fellow Matrix Energetics folks out there. The point being that $120 costs money. And so if someone pays that, they go, okay, I'm paying for something, so let's see what happens. They're going to be tuned into it. If it's free, not so much. But anyway, right now you asked, so we're doing the half price special, the $60 now. Let's do it this month. What the heck? Let's through the trapped in space period through April 30th. Okay. If you send me an email, george@iwantjoy.com, and say, hi, I saw you on Houston's gig, and you said half price, because this isn't being publicized all over the place. $60. We'll do a Zoom session, and they'll get better. And it's not limited to anything in time or space. I tell people, what do you do, George? Well, the only areas I work on, okay, these are the only areas, is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial. I don't do plumbing or carpentry. But any of those areas I can help you with. Okay. Cool. Yeah. This month, we just decided just now. So kudos to you that for the month of April, live, and this is not an April Fool's joke, live in April, set up a time. It has to be mutually convenient. I work by appointment. So send me an email, george@iwantjoy.com, and propose a time. You don't have to be specific. I'm not interested in whatever your specific trauma is. For example, if I do time travel or age therapy, whatever you call it, Matrix Energetics people are familiar with this. We do that, and I'm not interested what trauma we're relieving or which one we're taking the emotional charge down from. That's none of my business. We just do it, and what I tell people is the angels take care of that. I tell people the angels are standing on the sidelines or sitting on the sidelines saying, put me in, coach, put me in, let me help. I'm ready. Put me in, I can help them. And the coach always answers the same way. As soon as they ask, we have to ask. That's our part. We have to ask. Shouldn't God know that I'm in trouble? Yeah, God knows. Yeah, there's the source energy is aware. Well, doesn't he automatically help? Nope. Why not? Because this is the free will planet. Really? Yeah, it's a free will planet. We get to do whatever we can go kill somebody. Yeah. Now there are consequences to all your actions, but yeah, you get to do pretty much whatever you want. So anyway, you asked, and there it is. Ta-da! Half price sale for April.
And I appreciate it very much, George, because my whole goal in doing this is to help people move their focus, especially in the Houston area where we actually, Houston, from Conroe to Galveston, from Katy to Beaumont, wherever we need to do, College Station to Beaumont. We want people to know that there's businesses out there that are ready, willing, and able to help.
Yep.
They're just not aware that these people are there, or that they're open, or that they're doing anything. And I think it's a very important thing to let people know, because it gets them focused off of themselves and on to resolving the issue, moving forward, instead of being fear and trapped.
And I think that one can focus on themselves without focusing on their problems. You and I know,
because you're way more. You're way more
aware of what you're focused on. You're going to have more of it. Law of magnetic attraction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, and George got some great YouTube videos. Since you're at home, you can watch these things and do what you want to. But George, I appreciate it very much. Let's see if we got any more comments. Let's see over here on Facebook. Don't see anything. And don't see any more comments over here on Facebook, but we'll probably get some after we get off and we get this up, and hopefully people will be able to get a hold of you.
Just don't squeeze too tightly.
Yeah. What did Mr. Whipple say?
Don't squeeze the shaman. Actually,
Yeah.
that was not his accent, but close enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, I want to thank you for joining. At 2:30, we're going to have on Fireman Dan, which is Damian Powers. He does a bunch of stuff. He's a fireman. He's a mobile notary, and he's also a mortgage broker. And we'll talk about what he's doing during this time and how he's helping people and working with people to get what they want when they want. And I want you to remember, this is George's number, 832-331-5468. I want joy.com, or George at iwantjoy.com. And George, I thank you, and I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
And
it's a pleasure.
So
it's my pleasure.
Well,
Absolutely.
That's great to know. And everybody, was I right about the voice, or was I right about the voice? Okay.
Well, it sounds pretty good to me.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. We love you. And please tell all your business associates that this is available for them at no charge. Okay. What I'm always saying to everybody is that what makes or breaks your business is exposure and visibility. Okay. And you need all the exposure and visibility you can get. We're doing this for free to get your business and you the exposure and visibility that you need to take care of people and help people, because I know that's why you went into business in the first place. Yeah, you want to make a living, but if you weren't trying to provide a service and help folks, it wouldn't do you any good anyway. So I thank you for joining us. And George, you got a joke before we leave?
Sure. A rabbi, priest, Henry Kissinger, a nun, and a camel walk into a bar. The bartender says, "What is this? Some kind of a joke?"
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Let's end the broadcast.